Yes, good morning. Welcome back to Football Heritage TV. It's nearly Liverpool away. Everybody, I'm sure, is very, very excited. Ricky is really excited. Look at him. He's so excited. Ricky Sacks, creator of Last Word On Spurs, top guy, Sky Sports pundit. How you doing, man? You good?
Oh, mate, my head won't fit through the door after this. Can we just leave the show there? I feel better now. Don't make me talk about Spurs, for God's sake. I'm all good, mate. I'm all good. I know it's weird that you kind of message people and go, how are you outside Spurs world? It's just...
Do you know what?
I feel like you've got to kind of mentally kind of brief yourself before you go on air to even come and talk about us.
Do you know what? I think this is interesting, right? I think for some people in the chat, when they all come on and you know, they straight away go, no, but you said this and you said this. And I think sometimes they got to remember that as Spurs fans, we as YouTubers hurt as well. We're frustrated with the situation as well. We're not happy. But look, I mean, Ricky, it must be bad. Like, you obviously get called from Sky Sports and asked to go on. Surely you must be running out of things.
Let's be very, very clear. It's only in a crisis.
Yeah. Well, they call you in a crisis, and you must be getting bored of like saying the same thing and probably not being able to go as deep as you might like. What's that like when you go on there?
On that point, I've got to be honest with you. The mainstream media, this is the thing I think that's always people ask that question when Sky or BBC or TalkSport call you. Look, only my experience, and I'm again always straight up and honest. I've never had a situation where someone said to me, "You can't say this, you can't say that," because otherwise, what's the point of going on there?
Yeah, sure.
If you can't have your opinion, you know, it might as well have been a dictatorship or North Korea if I can't go on there and say what I want to say. So I always approach interviews, and look, I've always said I only speak how I feel. I never, would ever want to speak for anybody, or that's not who I am and how I kind of represent myself. So look, I think you represent how a lot of Spurs fans feel. Likewise, myself. Likewise, a lot of Spurs people that are on YouTube in the community. Just total utter disillusionment, and quite frankly, it's staggering as to how far we're falling and the acceleration of how bad it's getting. Because I have this joke running with Billy every week. I say to Billy, "Can't get any worse, can it?" And it's that Mick McCarthy meme. It can, it can. Just when you think you've seen it all, and it gets worse, and you're thinking, "How is this even possible?"
Well, I had a show yesterday called "Spurs Are at Rock Bottom," and the first person responded and went, "We can go further."
It's true.
We can go further. No, you're absolutely right. I mean, it was quite interesting. I put out a video yesterday off a quote I used yesterday that was, the poison runs deep. And the first comment I got back on the video was, yeah, and people like you are the ones carrying the biles of poison. I was like, yes, of course. Spurs' downfall is me. I pick the manager. I choose the director of football. I'm making the signings.
It's funny on that point, mate. It's funny. Marlon said this to me a few months ago on the show. Obviously, everyone knows Marlon from Spurs Kings in the community. And he went, it's like a fan's gone in and run it, but not even a fan could get this amount of stuff wrong. It's actually unbelievable. Yeah. I mean, maybe it's an Arsenal fan in there that's running it, because to be fair, if it's an Arsenal fan, this kind of makes sense as to what we're seeing. But I don't think I've ever seen it as bad as what it is right now. And one thing you've said consistently, and to be fair to you, and you've not deviated away from this point for a lot of this season, and even last season, that the group of players that we've amassed, and look, I'm aware that, and again, similar to you, mate, I know a lot of the players, the coaching staff, members around Tottenham watch the show. They watch YouTube. They watch Last Word On Spurs. I'm sure they'll be watching your show as well. I don't like ever personally going in for a player or going on a manager or going on a coaching staff member. That's not who I am. But I do think that the group that we've got amassed is probably one of the worst group of players as a whole assemble of squad in the last 20, 30 years. There isn't a star player. There isn't someone you think, right, he's going to get us out of this. And even when you think the 01, 02 teams, or when you had Martin Yole's era of Edgar Davids or a Wilson Palacios under Harry, a Scotty Parker, there's no one that I'm looking at.
Those characters aren't there.
No. And the problem is now you've got no one Tottenham related through the coaching staff, around the club to some degree, that kind of feels the pain of what fans are feeling right now. And that's another thing that's really crucial to say. Our identity is being stripped right between our eyes.
Yeah.
It's actually it's sad. It's really sad. Really sad.
It is sad. And as I've said many times, I think so many people online, Ricky, they spend a lot of time, you said this and you said that and you wanted him and you wanted him. When you actually strip all that back, take a step back and actually have a kind of helicopter view of what's going on in this club, it is very sad.
Yeah.
And listen, you went back to that era. I'm going to go back even further. I remember in the 90s, we had some really bad teams, but we had a Teddy Sheringham. And you knew
Ginola was my boyhood. You don't get we don't even get a chance to speak about this. Ginola was like my boyhood hero growing up. I remember my dad telling me, Rick, Ginola's going, and I was devastated. Like Ginola was my hero. Kind of, he was what embodied Tottenham for me. My dad named me after Ricky Villa. So like, I've come from a Spurs mad family. Like, you're only going to be Spurs. There was like, similar probably to you as well. Like, I was born into this, so it was never going to be anything but Spurs. And I never get a chance. There's no option to ever change. There's no, my boys now, I feel sorry for them. They're now, I'm putting them through this.
Yeah, you're a terrible father. I feel awful.
I haven't taken them to the stadium this season because I don't want to see what I've been seeing at the likes of West Ham at home and people fighting and the mood. It is so toxic there. Like, it is. Yeah. It does feel like we're cursed. It does feel like we're cursed at the moment.
Yeah. I think this is the thing as well. There's a lot of younger fans now that I'm seeing that don't quite understand some of the teams we once had, but we had some superstars.
Mate.
So, for example, when I see people saying, but the Jose team wasn't good. Yeah, but he had Kane and Son. And
Eriksen as well at the time.
I don't think these people understand when you have a couple of players at that elite level, you're going to be okay. And we are now not that. We don't have that. And I think Son was the last. Look, I can't be a revisionist, Ricky. I think it was time for Son to go. I don't think this was the Son of old.
I agree with you, but we didn't replace. Sav, you said this because last summer we never replaced him. And the problem is, I was at that Arsenal game, the 4-1 game. I know there's a lot of stuff to talk about here.
Yeah,
got a lot of stuff to cover. But I was at that 4-1 game, and I was sitting there looking at that team out there, thinking, it's actually so sad that there's not one single player there that touches that Pochettino team that we had. Like, every player we've bought has not been an adequate replacement for the players that have gone. And when you keep, I said this on Sky as well, when you keep buying players that are not of the adequate nature, when you're unwilling to go into the window and spend the cumulative amount of money, when you're unwilling to match wages, which, to be fair, it appears now we are. The problem is now we're willing to change our wage structure, but look where we are. Nobody wants to join us. And how can you blame Semenyo for not even wanting to look at us? And we're at this point now where I'm just trying to survive. I mean, that is the saddest thing. Like, I can't believe, right, I'm at a point, and probably the same as you, I'm sitting there thinking, yeah, Sean Dyche is the right person for Tottenham. Like, when you sit there and think about that, right, Sean Dyche is everything I think Tottenham aren't. We're not a pragmatic team. We're not a team that, defends first. We are a front-footed team. But we've come to a point now, we need someone to save us. And whoever will save Tottenham will be a hero. But I've had sleepless nights thinking, I don't know we're going to get out of this. Like, I don't see a player in that's got bollocks for this.
Ricky, listen, I am not, big up Stell if you are watching, I am not Stellegation. I love this. Stell's got his whole kind of own
his army. I might just say, listen,
going on, isn't he? He's like,
listen, I agree with Stell. I agree with Stell a lot, and I know Stell's probably heard me.
Yeah.
I just think that take is I don't understand Stell's take around the relegation point. Because I tell you, Lincoln was singing it last Sunday or Saturday. Like, every team, if we drop down, we are going to be a cup final for every team in that championship. Can you imagine? Our home form is bad now. Can you imagine every player of the opposition raising their game to 200% and more?
Yeah.
And we're going to have all due respect. I mean, the good thing you might see is if anyone sees it as a good thing, you're going to get a few kids out there that know what it means for Tottenham. But any star players will go. But listen, I'll be honest with you, I haven't really got an affiliation with this group. I'll be honest.
No, agreed. Like what Matt says here. I think this is spot on because I'm gonna for some of the younger fans. Obviously, Ricky, this is my favourite player of all time.
Yeah, we both. This is what we've grown up.
Listen, I caught the tail end of Hoddle, and obviously I know Hoddle was better, but for my personal favourite, this guy was just amazing. Now, he played in some awful teams. Let's not beat around the bush, guys. This guy played in terrible teams. I'm going to say this. I'll say it quietly so I don't piss people off. Other than him and Sol Campbell, we had a really, really bad team. You had Sol at the back. You had Ginola out wide, and other than that, it was a shambles.
You were paying your entrance money for Ginola, weren't you? You were paying your money. You were paying your entrance money for Ginola.
Right. Now, what we're talking about is, I like this player because he's got heart. Now, that's all great. We can like a player for heart and passion, but the ability isn't there. And Matt is right. There's no... a few people have said to me this year that, you know, as dads, they take their kids to the club shop and they're like, right, who do you want on the back? And
I mean,
son, I want Kane, I want Defoe, I want Bale, I want Van der Vaart. Now it's, I don't know, who do I want on the back? I don't know.
Xavi looks good by like kind of how he looks in nature as a person. You know, you look at him as a figure and you think, God, he looks like a good player. But then like his confidence looks, I mean, listen, our confidence on the floor, the players' confidence on the floor. What I'm laughing right now is that you've got TalkSport that must be either get on the phone to Harry and Jermaine. They've just done an interview together saying they're going to come in and say, Spurs. I know you want to come to it.
We're going to come to that because I woke up this morning, watched the Harry Redknapp interview, and I think what was very, very interesting. I'll tell you what. Let's go to that right now. Let's go to that right. We're reverse engineer. There's so much to talk about. We're reverse engineer it. We are where we are.
Yeah,
we do have the squad we have. We are in the. I don't even think it's a rut. A rut is a few games. We're let's
call it as it is, mate. As you know, we're in a dogfight. We're in a fucking dogfight.
We're in a relegation fight.
And we haven't got any fighters. Bar maybe Archie Gray, but again, like you said there, Archie is a player, good young player. I know Lubo's beloved Archie Gray. I mean, I think Lubo's head is on cloud 9 now. He's seen him being linked with a move to Bayern Munich. Which again, I think Archie has got potential, but again, this is where we are right now. Tottenham has always been about that word potential, but I'll let you go back to your point. Go on, sorry, mate.
Yeah, no, you're right. Listen, as I said, with the thing for me with an Archie Gray, and by the way, happy birthday, I believe, today for Archie Gray.
Happy
I think
birthday,
it's
Archie.
20th. I messaged Lubo this morning, right? In my conversation with Lubo this morning was, hello, mate, what present did you buy him? And he messaged, what are you talking about? I mean, what time's the party? He's like, what are you talking about, Savva? I went, Archie, it's his birthday. You got him sat in, right? And he's like, oh. He went, Bayern Munich want him. I went, no, they don't. I went, right now, Archie. Anyway, look, away from Archie Gray. Harry Redknapp this morning is on TalkSport, right? At the races, he's on TalkSport. And there were two things he said that I thought were really, really very interesting. First of all, everyone's saying, oh, he's going into the jungle next week in South Africa. It's done.
It's a pre-record. It's done, isn't it?
Pre-record. Yeah, it's done. So he's done Africa. He's done it. He's done. Completed it. The second thing he said was, if I got the call, I'd take it. And we'll talk about that in a minute. But the third thing he said that I thought was really interesting was when he said, yeah, I actually had a call with Daniel Levy last week. And Daniel Levy said to him, if I was still chairman,
I'd have you in.
I'd be calling you and getting you in. Now, here's my question to you, Ricky, off the back of all that. Harry Redknapp is he's my favourite Spurs manager of the Premier League era. I know people go to Poch. I love Harry. I just love Harry.
Yeah.
He is a bit older now. He's not managed for a while. He seems to be the favourite with a lot of fans to get the call, to breathe in the feel-good factor. One, would you take him? Two, is it too little too late? And three, will these players that are of a different era,
so crucial
are they going to connect with a Harry Redknapp?
Yeah, it's so crucial you say that because I think Mickey would have been 14. I think at the time when Harry would have been here or was last in a job, right? So you're talking about the fact he's been out of football for the last 10 years, which I think was a Jordan National team. And before that, look, he also contributed to QPR going down. I think he was there right at the end, but he did contribute to them going down as well. It feels that at the moment we need someone that's Tottenham in that building just to kind of explain to the players the severe gravity of what we're in at the moment. So to answer your question, I would love Harry involved in some capacity alongside someone. I don't know how you feel about him, but I've never been a massive fan of Tim Sherwood. Reason for that is I actually quite like AVB, which people might not like saying that. I don't know what people thought about AVB. Some might have thought Bale carried AVB in the second year of him being here. But he backstabbed AVB to get the job in the first place. He then tore the players to shreds. We had that situation, I think, at Chelsea away where he absolutely, again, went in on the players. And my worry with Sherwood is that he also contributed to taking Aston Villa down. So my quandary that I've got is I would love Harry involved in some capacity, but who alongside with him? I can't believe, I was saying this to you off air, that I find myself now veering towards Sean Dyche, which people might think I'm absolutely insane and crazy. And I honestly tell you, mate, Sean Dyche is everything opposite of what I want in a Tottenham manager, of all due respect to him. I think he comes across really well when he speaks on radio and TV, but we need someone that I do think understands the Premier League right now, present. We need someone that can connect with players over a short period of games. You're looking at 7 or 8 or 9 now. So I'm thinking, can it work somewhere like, or someone like a joint thing with maybe Dyche and Defoe, Harry Defoe? I mean, mate, this is the problem, right? You know, because I think the board are having the exact same conversations that we're having. We're all saying, look why we're with Tudor. You know, all honesty, I've not seen one positive thing of Tudor in the 4 games, and yet he's still here, and he's being taken the Liverpool game. So what we've just done is we've just put the white flag up, and we've said, okay, then we'll let those 3 points go, because I presume from their perspective they're thinking we haven't got the time to change it now. I'm at a loss, Savva. I haven't got at the moment a cast iron certainty to come back to you and say, right, that person or these people come in and they definitely keep us up now.
Yeah, I think it's difficult as well, isn't it? When you look at it, and I'll answer your question about Tim Sherwood in a minute, but
yeah.
I think it's difficult when you look at the situation. I see in the chat right now, a lot of fans are throwing names that are just very unrealistic, because this isn't Spurs in a manager search, Ricky, in a summer. This isn't a time where you can go to all clubs and just take their manager out. This is March. Do you know what I mean? So I'm seeing people in the chat saying, get Glasner, get Rio. They're in jobs.
Listen, no one's going to put their name. But Glasner or Iriola right now are not going to put their name to Tottenham for 8-9 games where the tag of being relegated with Tottenham, this is a founding member of the Premier League. We ain't been at the top flight since 1977. Yeah. No one's going to want to put... I think that's also another big thing to say, is that also you're risking your own reputation by somebody coming and take this job, because Tottenham have never been relegated. So I am at a loss, mate. I mean, what do you think?
Look, the interesting thing is, it's slightly different for me. I feel like I said at the beginning of January, right? If you were going to sack Thomas Frank, who I was a supporter of Frank. Mate, I was
the same as you. Like with Frank, I was the same as you. I thought when he came in, and look, I'm happy to be. Unfortunately, it didn't work out. You know, new evidence unfortunately surfaces where you have to then align yourself and see what's out there. I thought Frank would come in and do a good job. Hands up, hasn't worked out.
But equally, Ricky, one of the things I wanted Frank in for, without going down a big Frank rabbit hole, was I wanted Frank to come in for a number of years and sort this out. But if we're going to want managers to sort everything out in 6 months, we're going to be waiting a very long time. But I said at the beginning of January, I don't mind managers coming and going. Ricky, at our age, so I'm probably a little bit older than you, but at our age, right? We've seen so many managers come and go. I'm not wedded to a manager, but what I am,
mate, I'm not wedded to this football club at the moment.
Well, yeah, exactly. But if you're gonna sack Frank, you either said at the beginning of January, you either back him through this window, or you sack him and then let a new manager come in the window and get a few loan players in to help them out.
We did neither.
And we did neither. So when people are going, we did this with Frank. For me, it wasn't about who was the manager at the time. It was about, we needed reinforcements in January, whoever the manager was, and we simply didn't do it. Now they've sacked Frank 2 weeks after the January window shuts, which I think most of us kind of knew that that's what they would do.
Yeah.
The new manager coming in had to be the right one with 36 points to play for. Now, they brought in Tudor, and I've made a point, Ricky, of saying I'm at the stage now where I'm not going to say anything bad about managers because I don't rate this squad, but I'll let other fans decide whether Tudor was the guy or not. But we're now in a position where fans already don't like Tudor after 4 games. Cool. I don't know if there's an answer, Ricky. This is, I know this sounds like a politician's answer.
No, I hear you. It's going to be...
I don't know if there is a guy that can save us. I think we've gone so far down.
Yeah.
That this is no longer about just confidence or ability. The rut has turned into full-blown It is mould. It is
But, I mean,
mould right now.
Billy keeps saying it. Henry Winter said it to us last Sunday. He said the only individuals to get you out of this is going to be the players, right? And I think that's a worry to me because the players look absolutely lost. My worry about the players is, I don't know what your opinion is as well, is that I look at a lot of these players and I think, well, I can get a move. I'm actually going to ask, I can get a move away from here in the summer. Why am I going to? And I think, like, I would be saying to these players right now, and Billy's been saying it as well, that if you keep us up, you can go, we'll sell you. But if we go down, you ain't going. You got us in this mess. Go and get us fucking out of it. Honestly, because not being funny, you're right. You know, there's a responsibility that a manager takes to stop
that, right?
100%. You're right. 100%. Yeah,
you can turn around to the Romeros and the Simmonses and whatever and say, "Hang on, lads, you got us in this stay."
Yeah,
these guys are on £10 million a year.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, look, it's just I'm just so angry and frustrated by the decline and the effort and the application and the attitude. I mean, the thing now with football is, you know as well as me, Savva, I don't want to age us too much, but football's changed so much since the 90s. Like, it's so different now. Like,
yeah,
there doesn't appear to be that care, that pride, that fight for the shirt. I mean, bar Archie Gray in the last few games, I'm not seeing anyone that really is understanding the gravity of the utter mess we're in. And I hate to say it, I'm looking at West Ham, and you've said this as well. West Ham the other night in that cup game. Look at that squad after that. Look at that squad after that cup result. Everyone's together. Everyone's fighting. Everyone's believing. You look at Forest with Pereira, right? Well, everything about Pereira, take aside his horrendous start he had when he comes to the end at Wolves.
Yeah.
But that guy showed he was equipped to go in and get results pretty much straight away. And you look at, they've had a few dodgy ones, but he has gone in there and he's made an impact. And they've got some match winners in there. They have got some fighters. I look at us, and the thing that scares me the most is I don't see fighters. I don't see people that are willing to really put their body on the line.
See, I look at it. I don't disagree with you, by the way. I look at it slightly different. I think if you look at some of the players that are showing fight, now I think the main players that are showing fight are the ones that probably know they're going to be with Tottenham Hotspur next season. Now, what I mean by that is if you look at the likes of Tell, the likes of Gray, they haven't done anything in world football. Right? They haven't done anything which would suggest they're going to get a move to a big club.
Yeah, I hear you.
I think they're going to be the guys that if we go down, I think the Odebers, the Tells, the Greys will be in the Championship. Now, I'm not, by the way, Ricky, please, I'm not making this right at all. I think this is horrific.
Yeah.
But the Romeros, right? The Basumas, the Richarlisons, these guys who I don't think we're seeing this from, I think they know immediately. And they will be, Ricky, they will be having that conversation with their agents.
They already are. Look at the leaks right now that are coming out in the media. They've already had these conversations.
Exactly. So, I said this to Lubo the other day. Right? Spurs are playing Everton, right? Last out of season. I don't know, what is it, 3 p.m., 4 p.m.?
Can you imagine going into that game needing saying, I'm terrified?
Yeah, I can. Yeah, I can imagine going to that game and going down. But that game will finish at what? 5 p.m., 6 p.m., whatever it is, whatever time it finishes. By 10 p.m. that night, if we are relegated, right, the number of...
Mate, just you saying that, I've got shudders going through my body just you saying that, you know that. I can't... Mate, I'm not computing this.
It's realistic, right, at this point.
Yeah, of course it's realistic.
The number of calls the football club are going to have from agents, players, intermediaries saying, this is the official transfer... But this is not a football game. This is not a computer game. This is real life. Those guys will straight away go, right, I can't be in the Championship. Right? Bang, gone. There's my transfer request. Now, with an Archie Gray, with a Tell, with an Odeber, with maybe a Danso, I think would stay if you go down. Those guys, for me, are fighting because I don't think they get the big moves. Maybe Archie Gray gets a club that want to take a punt on an untested young player. Realistically, Archie Gray should be looking at that going, well, if we go down, I'm going to play. I'm going to play every week in central midfield for Tottenham. So I'm at the stage where, is it too late for I think it's gone deeper than an arm around the shoulder. I think it's gone deeper than
mate, it has. They need someone to go in there and
playing so out of position, right? These players are so beaten. Now, I'm not, by the way, this isn't me giving them carte blanche. I don't think the squad's good enough anyway. So I think a lot of these, this is their level. But I don't think it's as simple. I think a lot of people think that let's say Redknapp and Defoe get the call today, right? Redknapp and Defoe, they're announced and everyone goes, oh, God, we're saved. Redknapp and Defoe have got to go into that club to these players who are absolutely on the floor, tired, fatigued, no confidence, played out of position. And they've got to go straight in and go, right, we believe in you. We believe in you. We believe in you. We believe in you. Now, that will take you to there. But it's the ability in these players, Ricky, to take them the next step to actually get over the line.
But I think to answer that point there, I look at our squad compared to West Ham's and Forest's, and look, I'm trying in my mind to erode what I've seen, right, in terms of the performances. I'm eroding it, right? I'm judging them on a player for player profile in terms of what we've got available. I still think player-wise, we would have enough to stay up individually wise as players, but collectively, and the normalisation of losing, which is set in now. Because this squad, you've said it before, Savva, you look at the last 3 calendar years of, was it Bournemouth, Brighton, forgive me, Palace, or whoever it is, those 4 teams, they've all accumulated more points than us. I mean, look, this was crazy.
This was 4 games ago. If I'm not wrong, I'm pretty sure in that time, Everton have accumulated 7 or 8 points. So, yeah, in that 3-year period, from the 1st of March to 2023 to now, Tottenham are 16th in terms of points accumulated. And that is why when every show I watch, Ricky, I hear the players are better than we're seeing. They're better than we're seeing. Now, some of the individuals might be, but as a collective and what we've put together as a unit, it's not. It's just not.
No, I agree. I'd look at us now and think, I'm racking my brain thinking, because where we are right now, right, it's not necessarily a coaching job anymore. I do think, and I do agree with what you're saying as well, I also do think it is more than like an arm around the shoulder. But at the same time, mate, I just think someone needs to just go in there and just build these players back up again. You've almost got to lie to them. Like, that sounds awful. You've actually got to go in there and lie and say, look at, I'm trying to think.
I've always thought you should be playing for Real Madrid.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I'm just going to say, look what you've done in your career, but some of them haven't really done anything at all. Odegaard's been relegated. Maddison's been relegated.
Yeah.
So
Richarlison, he needs to go in and say to Richie, listen, there's a reason you were Brazil's number 9. You are amazing.
You know what, Richarlison, the only thing that fills with a bit of confidence with Richarlison is that, you know what, to this day, Everton fans absolutely worship him, Richarlison. When he was with us at the, going back to their stadium, which we won at under Frank, the fans were loving him because he actually kept them up. Like, he kept them in the league. And, like, Everton fans don't forget that. And I think the thing is now, what you've got to hope is going to come together, because the Liverpool game is, we've just put a white flag up to that. By keeping Tudor now, you've had all these reports come out in the last 24 hours. They've got no confidence in him. They had the final straw of the fact of how he treated Kinski. He's destroyed the kid's confidence anyway. So then you're looking between now and the Forest game. You've got the Atletico Madrid second leg in between. I'm not being a defeatist, but let's be honest about it. That game, maybe it's a good opportunity to kind of rest some players, which is awful, mate.
I can't see Spurs beating Atletico 4-0. I just can't see it.
Outside of Tottenham, I'm not a defeatist person. I'm quite a positive-minded person, but we're at a point now where we've got to try and keep players fit. But that Forest game, which we'll come on to, I mean, that is a final. Like that is a final, and that will be a defining game you'll look back on in the run. It won't be Everton on the last day. It won't be Chelsea the week before that. It'll be the Forest game and the Palace game. You look back and think, right, those were the games where, because we lost them, that's what happened. But I am mortified. I mean, you were just saying it a minute ago, mate, I'm terrified to be going into that Everton game on the final day and needing something. That is frightening.
Do you know the worry, though? I'll tell you what, can we shift the conversation a little bit to, and by the way, Everton have got the 3rd best away record in the Premier League at the moment. They're bloody good away.
David Moyes, an experienced Premier League manager, knows how to get results. That's another big thing as well.
But again, this is the difference. This is why whenever people go, let's have a look at our players, they're better. This is the difference. Everton, on paper, I'm not looking at their squad and going, what a good squad. But Everton actually put a team together that play in Moyes' style, right? And that actually work. Like people like Tarkowski, just warriors. You know, people like who's the big brute that plays? Is it O'Brien? These are players that Spurs would look at and go, rubbish, don't want him. But for Everton, they do the job. They're a unit. I want to move it to this, Ricky, right? Because I have seen the same as you have. There's a lot of reports in the last 24, 48 hours about the players don't respect Tudor.
Yeah.
They've lost faith in him. Yeah. Now, I'm all for this, and I'm all for hearing this. But, Ricky, I'm going to ask a really blunt question.
Go on.
At what point do we have to turn around and go, this is on the players? Because
100%.
we heard all of this with Frank. He's lost the dressing room. They've lost respect for him. We heard this with Ange towards the end of last season. The players don't like the way they're playing. He doesn't defend. But we're now hearing it with Tudor. At what point do we turn around as fans and go, hang on, these players don't seem to respect anyone?
Yeah.
Is there an issue with the playing squad? And I'm going to make this a really difficult question for you, Ricky.
That's fine.
Are people like Van der Ven and Romero and Bentancur and Porro, the so-called better players, are they part of the problem? Because they've been involved in this horrible, icky changing room for 3-4 years now. So over to you.
So the culture is a massive, massive problem. I just want to make this clear as well. I agree with every word Christian Romero said with regards to the board.
Agreed.
But you just can't have in any organisation a member of staff going rogue, right? You can't have a member of staff going rogue and completely and utterly battering the hierarchy, even though me and you sit here and have absolutely, just be very, very clear for everybody out there, we are agreeing with every word that Christian Romero is saying, but in any organisation, any successful organisation that wants to have a real sense of general progression, you can't have an individual coming out and battering the hierarchy, whether it's we agree with what he's saying or not. So the thing is, you can imagine the culture. If he turns up late, well, other players turn up late. If he acts about, other players act about. If that's your leader, if that's your captain acting like that, well, the rest of the natives are running wild. And unfortunately, that is what you're seeing. So if he's the kind of linchpin, but the person we look up to, which even Tudor has said, we really miss him. But we know fundamentally the cultural problems that are around Tottenham. The reality is, you strip it all back, you go from the top. There's a lack of there's no management from the top. There's no footballing direction. There's no footballing strategy. There is no football people in there. You know, Vinay and Lang, there's no way they can carry on. They're done. Like, in terms of, listen, what we'd all like, I think we'd all love to see a change in the ownership now and then being bought. The reality is, if this club drop into the Championship, in my opinion alone, I don't have this obviously as a source, but I don't think Spurs are going to get bought. That's just my opinion. I don't think Spurs are going to get bought if we drop into the
You're
Championship.
not going to sell the club when it's worth a third of its value because you've been relegated. Of course, sure.
So on top of that, just to go back to your point there, you're absolutely right in what you're saying. If we're going to get out of this now, put the manager to one side at the moment, which we know Tudor's done. I can't believe he's even... I actually worry about keeping him around, how that is having even more of a negative effect now in the dressing room and even on the training ground. I mean, how is that a positive influence in our dressing room, the way he treated Kinski the other night? But to answer your question, if we're getting out of this, it's the players.
Just remember, Ricky, anyone but Frank. Anyone but Frank.
You know what? The thing is with Frank, and you said it earlier. I mean, look, I said those early games at Chelsea and Arsenal, the writing was on the wall so early with Thomas. And it's a real shame because I keep saying this. And people say, why do you keep saying this? I think he's such a nice guy. And it's such a shame because I just think you look at what happened to him, and it's all like sliding doors moments in football. Didn't get Gibbs White, didn't get Eze. You do wonder kind of if those things happen.
If you get Gibbs White, Eze, and Savio, how different does our team look?
And even like Tudor, for example, I think we all know we've done with Tudor. But even when you look at Tudor's 4 games, the push on Mawani at 2-1, if that changes, what happens there? The foul on Dragoshin, what happens there? I know football's all about if, buts, and maybes and whatever. The one thing it feels weird that we're all unified on at the moment is Igor Tudor should be nowhere near the Tottenham dressing room.
Sure.
But
do you think, though, Ricky, that I think every Spurs fan hits a wall at some stage, right? So we can all, what I mean by this is we can all...
Metaphorically, you mean physically the way we're playing? You've been jumping into a wall at the moment? Or...
No, yeah, might as well be. Yeah. You should see. Yeah. We can all have opinions on players and managers. We get our opinions right. We get our opinions wrong. It's just personal preference, yada, yada, yada.
Yeah.
I said this year, I hit my brick wall, Ricky, in terms of, I can no longer make this about a player, a manager, a director of football.
Yeah.
I am looking at the bigger picture, and I think lots of Spurs fans have got there now. Some still aren't there. Some still blame, oh, this is because we play Richarlison. No, it's not. This is because of Dragosin. No, it's not. This is big. This is deep. And I am of the opinion now, Ricky, and I know lots of people don't want to hear it, that we can talk about managers all day long. We can all pretend this manager does this manager does this, but I can assure you this club, if it does not bring somebody in at the top, now ideal owners go, but if it does not bring in a football man at the top, way that Arsenal have with Berta, the way that Man City did when Tiggy Birkenstein came in. Right. If Spurs do not implement this at the top, we're going to be having these conversations year in, year out. Now, they might not always be relegation battles, but we're going to be having these conversations of, that player signed and he's shit. Is he shit, or has he been brought into a team with no...
You're right, Saz, but haven't you just accepted, though? Have you not just accepted the fact that ENIC, under this ownership, I know you have anyway, to be honest, to some degree. I know what you're saying, you're right. But, mate, we're not going to go anywhere under these people. No. Like, this is an investment business, and the problem is they've done really well successfully, believe it or not, people won't believe this based on what they're seeing with Tottenham. They've done really well in terms of their other portfolios of businesses, but this isn't like another business. This is football. Yep. It's different to any other business, and they've now got this. They've taken it off Daniel's hands. Mate, they're out of depth. Like, I don't know what you can look at the fact they've had to remove some of the duties from Vinay and Lang. What does that tell you? You can imagine. I honestly believe, mate, the conversations that we're having, so I'm not joking to you, the conversations that we have on our respective shows, I can imagine they're very similar to what's going on at Tottenham. I'll tell you what's even more worrying to me. I think they're even more lesser knowledgeable than the conversations we have with our guests in terms of what we're thinking. And that is what's scaring me. Because I'm also scared thinking, well, after Tudor, they could get someone worse. Like, how do you actually think that the next decisions could actually be better? Because you look at all decisions that have been taken in their time so far under this new brand of ENIC 2.0, the Lewis family, well, every decision has been a bad decision.
Oh, every decision. Look, we've got everything horribly wrong. Listen, this started 20 odd years ago, but if we're going to bring it more recent times, this started when, look, Pochettino stumbled. I don't mean this in a rude way and not in a derogatory way, but he stumbled across a winning formula that worked for him. He coached the players he thought he could. He brought in out of Ireland, Ali, Son, and Yama. Built that team. This started then, and I know a lot of people think I'm crazy when I talk like this. We always say we want to go back to the Poch era. I don't. And what I mean by that is there wasn't an era. Poch had a good team. We never built an era. We never built on that. We never actually made it an era. We had an 11.
It's good for the viewers and listeners. We're going to disagree on this point here. The only thing about Poch for me is that I'm trying to search for something that connects me back with Tottenham. And
no, that's not what I mean, though, Ricky. This isn't about Poch. My point is, when we go back, we want to go back to that era.
Yeah.
I want to go back to that team. I want to go back to that team, but I want Spurs to build something behind that as an infrastructure. And
that's not going to happen. But you know it's not going to happen under this ownership, don't you? That's never going to happen.
Absolutely. It's not going to happen under this ownership.
No.
But this all started, and the reason I mentioned that era is this all started when that 11, Poch, we all know the 11. It's been shown 11, a million times. There it is. When Poch had this 11, right? The moment it started to break down, i.e., this player leaves, that player leaves, that was the moment when we all looked and went, right, what are we? What are we? We've had this team. They finished second. They finished third. What are we? Right? Walker went. Spurs didn't even replace him. We went, we've got Trippier who's already here.
We've got Trippier anyway. You're right. We'll just carry on.
Right. So we've got our second choice right back. Go on, you go in. All right. So straight away, you've gone Walker. By the way, I like Trippier, but you've gone.
Yeah, you're right. The Walker was a level. You're right.
So Walker goes.
Yeah.
And you've downgraded. If I'm not wrong, the next main one that went from that team was Dembele. Dembele then leaves to go to China, and we know he had some injuries. But then Spurs didn't do anything. I believe it was Sissoko that was bought. Like, So now we're going, right, Walker, top class Premier League, powerful, quick athlete, one of the best right backs in the world. Dembele, one of the best midfielders in the Premier League, right? You've gone from there to there.
Every player's a downgrade. Every player's a downgrade.
Out of Ireland, Vertonghen, Rowe, these players start getting a bit older. They start leaving. Suddenly you're going, this is where it started. It didn't start last summer before. This started years ago, right?
Yeah.
And our fans pretend, sorry, I know some of our fans pretend, good signing. Are they? Why were they bought? With what ethos in mind? With what structure? With what plan in mind? What with this attacking manager or this defensive manager, or the attacking manager or the defensive manager? Or that Spurs have had no plan for so long, Ricky, that when I look at the team, I am not surprised how bad it is without the better players, i.e. without Kudus, without Maddison. I am not surprised. If you remove Son and don't replace his goals, I'm not surprised.
But,
right?
you know, on the point you're making there, Sav, I've been saying this now for a while, that Enoch, and you've heard me say this now probably a couple of times, Enoch do deserve to be relegated for how they've allowed the club to deteriorate and neglect the playing side of Tottenham. You know, reality is they've built away from Spurs a multi-purpose venue for their concerts, for their boxing, for their NFL, for their Formula One. I've actually got no problem with that if they were investing the same on the pitch, right? I've got no problem with that. But the problem is, like you kind of said there, when you've allowed the squad to be so neglected and almost like we've said there, player for player, anyone that comes in is a downgrade in terms of what you've gone and tried to do.
Yeah.
What do you expect? I mean, this is unfortunately where we are. And this is because of the mismanagement over so many years. The problem is, though, if you look at the pricing of the club, that hasn't changed. The tickets, so that's the crazy thing. The ticket prices have remained the same, have not gone higher, but the actual product in terms of what you're being served, look what you've got to work with. I mean, look what anyone's got to work with. I think Tudor probably thought to himself coming in, like every Tottenham manager, and you notice as well, they come in and they realise, God, fucking hell, is this what I've got to work with? Is this what I'm working with? And then he looks around in terms of, for some football knowledge around the club, he's thinking, I've not even got that either. He didn't get his number 2 in. This is not me trying to justify anything that's happened to Tudor. I'm just trying to give everyone the picture there that he hasn't got his number 2. You look at what he's got to work with, and by the second game, he's lost the players and torn into them. So the thing is, if I wasn't a Tottenham fan, unfortunately we are, I wouldn't feel sorry for Tottenham. We only feel sorry for ourselves because we're fans, but I would be saying you deserve this. You deserve what's happened to you because you've taken your eye off the ball and you've treated this club like a business. It is a business, which is why we're in the mess we're in. And if we're being honest about it, every side wants Tottenham relegated. All the national media wants Tottenham relegated. They do.
Of course they do.
Everyone does.
They do.
Now you've got situations where every media outlet is quite happy to lean on the point players want to go, right? So it goes back to my point earlier. I feel that you need somebody to come into that building and they are just Tottenham. But alongside that, you need somebody knowledgeable enough that's going to come in, understand the gravity of the utter shit show we're in and work out a plan to get us out of this. And the thing is now, with the 8-9 remaining games, just my opinion alone, this isn't about coaching anymore. It ain't about being coached because the players aren't going to learn.
Harry said, didn't he? It's not
about coaching anymore. It's about someone that's going to come in and just remind players of their standards and remind players of the standards of Tottenham Hotspur Football Club. But at the same time as that, you do need someone, in my opinion, that isn't kind of been out the game for 10, 12, 15 years. I mean, look, I would love a way in which, I don't know if you heard me say this, I would love a way in which we get Dyche, Hoddle, Redknapp, all of them in together to try and firefight. It sounds mad. You can't have 5 or 6 managers, but in an ideal world, you want a makeup where you've got someone that understands Tottenham, understands the DNA. You've got someone that hasn't been out the game for too long that understands players. Where are you on that point, Sav? Do you think that you look at Redknapp or look at Sherwood, or, I mean, again, I've made my feelings on Sherwood, but Redknapp, do you think, because he's been out the game for 10, 15 years, I mean, do you think he's been out the game for too long? Do you think that?
I think that if you were bringing in a manager for a long-term gig, I think you would say, is this the right appointment at his age? He's been out the game for a while.
Yeah.
If you were bringing him in, I think in some sort of football capacity, director of football, or I don't know, just advisor to director of football, then yes. Bringing him in for 9 games, sure. You're going to hate me, Ricky.
No, go on.
I'm at the stage though where I'm a fan of. I don't think it matters who comes in. Now, if I'm wrong,
You think it's on the players now? It's on the players.
Yeah.
If
I'm wrong, I would love to be wrong because it means my club stay up. I am not on delegation. I do not want to go down in any way, shape, or form. I need people to be very clear. The difference between me thinking we're going down is not me wanting to go down.
No, you just think we're done. Marlon's the same. Marlon thinks we're done as well.
I think it's deep. It's so deep now that I don't think this is a case of someone coming in and just going, okay, you will go and play in your right position, because you think if a new manager comes in and wants to play 4-3-3, 4-4-2, 4-2-3-1, 3-4-3, we don't have the proper wing backs for this.
And also,
we don't have
wingers
to play a 4-2-3-1.
Also, the point you're making as well about the players is they look so mentally drained that as you can get them back in a formation, like they even understand and comprehend. We just need someone come in and get results. I mean, Glenn Hoddle is someone that he lives and breathes Tottenham, like still to this day, and Crackers knows him, and he would definitely want to come back. He said it himself, he'd come back in now. He actually thinks he's a better manager now than what he was before, but I kind of come back to that point. Because again, look, mate, you've worked around football. I've not worked in football, right? So I don't know really, like you said earlier, from a player's perspective, how many of those players need somebody that has been around football recently? Or is it more of a kind of job where you do try and rebuild confidence, get somebody in that building that is Tottenham, try and get the fans back on side? Because the one thing about the home games coming, I know you said you're going Forest and I'm going to be there as well, is that now, whatever we think of this ownership, and everyone knows how we feel about this ownership, we make it very clear daily, and you do as well on your panel, as well on your platform. We need to somehow put all that to one side, like Everton did when they were on the verge of being relegated.
Yeah, we just
get behind the team, get behind the players, because I keep saying this, if we go down, I am terrified we ain't coming back for a while. And I get your point as well. I understand now why some fans will look at this and think we're down. We've not won a game in 2026. 6 on the bounce that we've lost? 4 under Tudor out of 4. There's nothing pointing you to tell you it's going to get better. But football is a crazy game. It can change. That's what I keep saying to myself. I'm trying to stay mentally stronger. I think it can change. But the problem is, I can't give you a solid solution in terms of saying that's going to work. Nor can you, Savva, really. This is the problem. We haven't got a solid solution to go to say that's going to work. And you're right. The one thing that we all do know is that the players are going to massively contribute to getting us out of this. But in terms of who manages that group, I am at a loss. I don't have a definitive answer.
I think the worrying thing for me at this stage is where we're at is I don't like, I feel like I've said, let's go back to basics, right? But when I look at the makeup of this squad and with the injuries, I'm looking at it going, what does basics look like for this team? Like, if I want to go and play a basic 4-2-3-1, we don't even have any wingers fit. Like, we can pretend Tell is a winger, but Tell will tell you himself he's a forward. Yeah. We don't have an out-and-out winger at this football club right now until Kudus comes back. Even then, Kudus is going to come back. He's been out for 3.5 months.
Kudus was, before his injury, it wasn't like he was setting the world alight either.
Well, yeah, but I mean, look, whatever we think of whatever, I don't know what makeup we've got.
No, I don't know. I don't know. I'm terrified of the 11 for Saturday. I'm looking at Saturdays now. I mean, you do your score show. I'm out. Like, I'm out in Sainsbury's and I'm panicking, thinking I've got to check the Sky Sports.
Beating West Ham this week. Yeah.
But is it mad? This is where
what I think has relegated us. Do you know what I think will end up relegating us if we go down? It will be the fact that we looked in that January transfer window.
Oh, mate, that was it. The January window killed us.
Lookman wasn't good enough.
No.
That Akliouche wasn't good enough. That John Duran on loan not good enough. Alone. Isn't that a no-brainer? You're not saying buy him. Get him in the team.
The funny thing is, right, it's funny because Langer said in that interview, we didn't want to panic. Well, we're scrambling more than ever now.
Yeah.
It's actually unbelievable. And you're right. That January transfer window will be, along with some games, definitely one of the key reasons that if we go down, you pin it on that. And also you pin it on the fact that they should have sacked Frank a lot earlier than what they did. But at the same time, this has been, like you said, Savva, if this has been for years, it's been coming.
But
We had the warning sign last
people,
season.
Ricky, I think whenever you sacked Frank, I don't think it would have made a difference, because I am somebody that truly believes without the Maddisons, without the Kuduses, without these players that are technically good enough to hold the ball up the pitch, my big worry was always, I don't think it matters which manager comes in right now. That was my problem. In the summer, it's going to make a difference because you can buy players. But
yeah,
I got a lot of heat, Ricky, and I don't mind it. Listen, I've taken a lot of heat down the years on YouTube. That's fine. But I got a lot of heat in the summer where I said I thought it was a really negligent transfer window. And everyone went, oh my God, but we bought. But so in essence, what you actually did was, to a lesser degree, with lesser players, is you replaced Solanke, because he was injured for 6 months, with Mawani on loan. You replace Maddison because he's out for a year, with Simmons, who's not at the level of Maddison, at least not yet in his career, right? You brought in Paulinho on a loan, so there was no long-term plan in there. I looked at that and went, we finished 17th. We scraped Champions League. Use that as a wake-up call. Go and buy 7, 8 players. Build out this squad to be big enough for Champions League. And we didn't. We just replaced injured players. And I said it was negligent. That is why, am I as shocked as others? I don't think I am, because I don't rate these people that are saying these players are better. Based on what? Why is Tell better than we're seeing? Why
just so you know, because there's some news coming through to us here as we're talking. I feel like I'm doing like a Last Word On Spurs bit on Savva's show. But from what we're seeing here, that they have now confirmed there's a frozen point in the season ticket renewal. So I'm going to read this on the show to you here. They said, everyone at the club remains absolutely steadfast in our collective commitment to improve our Premier League position and finish the season as strongly as possible. And therefore, they've now given an extended period until Sunday the 7th of June to ensure fans have clarity on next season before renewing. And on top of that now...
Love it.
On top of that now, Miguel Delaney, again, I know Still doesn't like I know Still's not crazy about the journalists. Again, I think he's quite well respected in the Independent. Sean Dyche is now being considered as a potential replacement. And I think the thing is that, again, I'll go back to this point. I mean, mate, I can't believe we're having this conversation. I go back to the point with Sean Dyche that he's everything Tottenham isn't. But where we've got to now, you do need someone that knows the league, knows the scale of the gravity that we're in, and maybe you get a Defoe in there, a Mason in there. I don't know, just a team of people to unite around Sean Dyche. And let's be honest about this. I mean, he just did get sacked at Nottingham Forest, right? I mean, we're not talking about someone that's at the top of his CV right now. So you've got to ask yourself, what's the incentive for him? Well, you'd imagine the incentive for him, Savva, is, and get your opinion on it as well, is that right now, I mean, you've said it yourself, you're not sure we're going to get out of this. So anyone now, this sounds mad me saying this, you're going to be a hero. You're going to be a legend at Tottenham. If you come in and keep Tottenham up, that is as big, in my opinion.
Spurs would have Dyche. He'd keep us up. We'd give him a 5-year contract. We would. But right now is like, I see people, we need a manager that plays attacking football. Guys, maybe for the future. Right now, we need points. This is not about style. Right now, this is not about style.
Can I just say, to add to your point there, what you just said about a 5-year deal, right? It's now also being reported that he's hesitant to take the role on a short-term basis. So you're right. So you're going to end up in a situation where he's going to want the job on like an 18-month period or a 24-month period. So if we drop down, this is another thing I hate talking about this. Mate, you're the first person I spoke to about this, right? It's awful talking about this, but you have titled the show Relegation Incoming, so maybe this is kind of part of it. But I think if we were to go down, you would need someone like a Kieran McKenna, a Scott Parker, almost like a promotion specialist that kind of knows what it is like to get out the league. Maybe Sean Dyche does know what it's like to get out the league, but mate, have you even picturing Sean Dyche in a Tottenham blazer?
Do you know what? I think the ridiculous thing about everything at Spurs is nothing that's said would surprise you.
No, it would surprise you.
Most clubs, you go, nah, Liverpool never going to do X, Y, Z.
No,
This is Spurs. Anything we say
could happen.
We laugh about, and you go, they're just that bad at this job, the owners, that they could do it. Now, if Sean Dyche comes in, I can tell you right now, right? As I've said, Ricky, I'm giving no opinion on any manager. I'm not. Yeah. May the chips fall where they are. If Sean Dyche comes in, right, there are going to be, sorry, who's at my front door? Oh, it's my postman. If Sean, sorry, my dog looked at me as if to say, didn't you hear the door? And I'm like, yeah, so I got it, mate. If Sean Dyche comes in, he will be one of the most unpopular choices with our fan base because of our arrogance, our history, because of our ego. However,
I agree with every word you're saying, but do you not think, though, at the same time, that at least is the board's understanding and kind of acknowledgement we're in a dogfight?
I'm going with it, Ricky. That's where I was going with it. From those points of view, you go, everyone's going to go, don't like it, don't like it, don't like it.
Yeah.
From a desperation and a reality point of view, because people that just sit there and go, no, we'll be fine. Get your head firmly out that sand. This is the worst it's ever been. We are fully in a relegation battle.
Of course
right?
we are, yeah.
This is not about we need a guy to come in and start playing tick-a-tack of football. We need points, right? Yeah. Tottenham need points. We can worry about who is the attacking manager that plays the Spurs way and all of that nonsense. We can worry about that after Everton when we are secure, right?
Yeah.
Secure safety. Now we can talk about, is it Xavi Hernandez? Is it Iriola? Right now, it's about survival. Right now, Redknapp said it this morning. No manager's got time to go in there and implement coaching and philosophy.
No, definitely not.
Come on.
This isn't now, like you said there, this isn't a coaching session over 10 games. No. This is now about purely results. And by the fact that they're even looking at Sean Dyche, that tells you they're scared. It tells you they're terrified. But
massively.
I just go back to the point that Dyche, you're right what you're saying there with some fans. How does that work? Well, that only works if you bring in a club person alongside him, like a Defoe, like a Mason. I mean, again, Mason had a torrid time at West Brom, but then quite interesting with Mason that you'd also argue for those that want Poch back, which I do want Poch back. I know, Sav, I know you think that kind of, and I can also say, I do also understand the fans that also don't feel Poch is the right.
I'm neither way. Ricky, I don't rate any managers anymore. I'm neither way. I've said, Ricky, until the owners change,
nothing will change.
Or at a bare minimum, implement a Ralph Rangnick type as a director of football. Until that happens, I don't care who the manager of this club is, because what will happen is we will bring in a manager that will have a good period, whether that's 3 months or 6 months. When that ultimately goes wrong because we don't back them and we don't have a plan and we don't buy the right players, we'll all be sitting there going, that manager's shit. He's not good enough for Spurs, when really it will be their fault.
I hear you. I honestly think it's a really, really difficult one, mate, to call. The thing is with Dyche, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think he's actually taken a team down, has he? I don't think
it's a great question. I'll tell you what, let's
go have a look. You can have a look whilst I'm
never been relegated.
We can waffle away whilst that's happening, but I don't think he's taken a team down. Come back and you let me know, but
no, here we go. So Sean Dyche was relegated as a player for Bristol City. As a manager, Burnley spent 10 years at the club, experiencing both promotion and relegation, but was sacked before the final relegation was confirmed. Right. Okay, so I think he has gone down, but in general, for the clubs he's been at, he's done a great job in keeping people up. But as you speak, as you mention his name, look how many people in the chat are going, Sean Dyche, no thanks.
Well, I think the reason why people are doing that is because, like you said earlier, it's I don't want to be rude to people. Again, not snobbery, but they look at Sean Dyche and think, well, how can he be a Tottenham manager? But this is not a Tottenham situation we're in. This is a very unique situation of circumstances where, like you said, Savva, this is about getting results over a very short period and just instilling a bit of confidence and just getting back to basics. Like you said, it's about getting back to basics to understand your jobs. You are there to defend. You are there to attack. And that's why I think someone like, again, I'll float this idea, someone like a Jermaine that is still a relatively young guy into football. He was only with the club, 12, 18 months ago. We interviewed Jermaine. We interviewed Jermaine upon coming back to the coaching staff. And the one thing about Jermaine, when I spoke to him, he's got such a love for Tottenham. Jermaine would love to come back and help in some kind of a capacity. Look, I think I'm at a point where, for me, I mean, you choke that picture of anything but Frank. I am at a point where anything but Tudor. I am at a point where now I am really worried with every passing minute of every passing hour of allowing Igor Tudor to have any more form of communication with this group, because I actually worry about the damage that is being done to players whilst he's there. And for me, growing up, Jermaine Defoe was a player that I loved a lot. Same as Keano. I loved Robbie Keane. Again, with Keano is another one. I think with Robbie, he ain't going to walk away from a title at Ferencvaros, is he, around the corner? Like, he ain't going to come and take it for 8-9 games. He's just building his CV. So why would he? Yeah, so again, with that, you're looking at someone like that thinking, well, you're only going to get Robbie if he wanted. If really Robbie wanted it, is you say to him, here's an 18-month deal. But it sounds mad.
Keep us up this year, steady the ship next year, and then if you do a brilliant job, we'll give you,
Here's a question for you. Do you think Sean Dyche is risking his reputation by coming to Tottenham now?
That's a great question. I mean, it depends what reputation you think he's got. Because when I look at Sean Dyche, I look at a guy that is a bottom half of the league manager. Straight shooter, good with the press. I don't seem
I always like him when he speaks. I mean, I know it's funny because you know whufc quite well. Again, whufc would be great to know about this. I mean, I don't think you could stand him towards the end, could he, whufc?
Yeah,
I mean, I don't know him personally, but I probably have to reach out to him if this was to happen. And obviously, you have him on yours, I think, on a daily at the moment. It'd be back to the Ange Mangaman when you had him on here for you and doing the Ange thing. But it's funny how football works with Dyche. I mean, again, I just wonder for him.
Do you know what it wouldn't do, Ricky? Now, here's my problem, right? With look, as I said, if they get in Dyche, they get in Dyche, right? My issue with Dyche is more not Dyche, it's the fans. Now, what I mean by that is the fans are internally looking for some vibe, some feel-good factor, and they want to feel love and connection, right? Now, if Jermaine Defoe came in some capacity, we all go, oh, my God, Jermaine, what a top goal scorer for Spurs. We love him. He's got a great, vibrant character.
Yeah.
Keno, we love Keno. Poch is our guy. Hoddle, Redknapp.
Yeah.
If Dyche comes in, I think it will be flat in the fact. I don't think the fans who are needed at this stage are going to go, yeah, that's the guy that gets us out of this. Now, I'm not saying that's right or wrong, Ricky.
I hear you.
But you know what our fans are like. So
I don't know, mate. It's a difficult one. I think now, I think there's a general acceptance on every podcast and every fan-based football YouTube channel that the one thing we all seem unified in right now is that Tudor has lost the dressing room. He's lost us, right? So you're in now kind of last chance saloon. You've got to change something. So the thing is now, we've got to, like you said there, if Sean Dyche comes in, I can't believe I'm talking about this subject with you, mate. I think it's mental. I can't. Do you know what? Generally, every day,
Ricky's wanted Sean Dyche since Poch went. I secretly, I think he's been chatting.
I've had posters of Sean Dyche. I've had posters of Sean Dyche for years. I've had posters. He's been my dream fantasy manager. But it's still what's mad. I think to myself, do you not think every day you think, what could I be talking about today? I don't think there's another football club like it. I mean, Connor used to say it as well, and you know him obviously quite well as well. You spend more time talking about Tottenham off the pitch than you do on the pitch.
Absolutely.
And now you're thinking, the thing with Sean Dyche is that I like the way he speaks. I think he's quite honest. But then again, Tudor's been quite honest, so you think, does that go down well? The thing with Dyche is he does, I think, set standards, which I don't think we've got any standards in terms of that changing room. I mean, that would be interesting. Can you imagine Dyche and Romero? I mean, that would be like...
I think where Tudor's gone wrong, right? I think the issue that you had with Tudor, whatever people think of him as a manager or a man, is as the interim that is given one remit, Ricky, right? The remit is keep this football club up, right?
Yeah.
That's not the guy that I need to hear the harsh truths from. We know the truth. By the way,
we know these. We know about how bad these players are. We've been watching them. We've been watching them.
We know the club is a shambles. For me, I think what he needed to do, Tudor, was, and by the way, this applies to the next guy. I would almost, if I was Spurs, I would take them away from the media. I wouldn't let them do an interview every day. I would just say, just take the games. Stop telling the press about.
The problem is, I think the problem you've got is they're contracted to Sky. Sure. This is the big problem as well. You know, with the media outlets. Do you think Tudor wants to talk to the press? I mean, every time you.
But you get my point.
Yeah, 100%. 100% get your point. 100%. 100%.
I get it if Ange is telling us when he's the manager and Frank when he's the full-time manager.
Yeah.
When the interim manager's saying there's big problems at this club, dude, we know that's why you're here.
That's why you're here. You're here to fix the problems. 100%.
Right. If there weren't big problems, mate, you wouldn't have been drafted in.
Yeah.
So the next manager for me, and by the way, we're saying this, he's not been sacked. Like, let's be brutally honest.
He's not been sacked. The guy hasn't been appointed. They're just considering him.
Some bad news for Spurs today. Unfortunately, a manager we won't be able to get is Graham Potter's just signed a new contract, breaking news, with the Sweden national team. So it will not be Graham Potter. But the one thing I will say, Ricky, all jokes aside, is we're in a stage now where this has got to not be about ego. Like, this is not.
This is time to park any of
finding
your,
a guy.
This is time to park any assumption of the size of club we are. Yep. You got to park this now. This is like full on now, full focus on. We're in a dogfight, and we need someone that's got bollocks to get us out of it. And to be fair to Sean Dyche, he has got bollocks, you know. But my worry would be, again, is like, he seemed to lose the dressing room at Forest really, really quickly, despite him denying that on the podcast he did with Harry Winter that we had on the show the other week. I mean, look, Wolf is your man. He will be the one to tell you kind of what he thinks of him, because he would have watched him, and I think he was calling it very early on with Dyche that he was seeing it going one way under him. So Forest fans would be the ones you need to speak to about where it's going. I think, mate, we're in last chance saloon. We will have one last opportunity to change it. Well, we've got to decide when we're changing this as well. Like, are we going to give him, if we do we give him the Atletico Madrid game? Do we wait until after that?
How much longer do you let this negativity?
As mad as this, right? Dyche's first game could be against Forest.
Not Forest. Well, look, just for anyone that didn't see it this morning, by the way, this is the actual, this is what Harry Redknapp said this morning. Harry Redknapp said, I got a phone call last week from Daniel Levy. I think I spoke to him once since I left all that time ago. I thought, strange. He did say to me, look, if I was there now, I would definitely, and I'm not just saying it, I would bring you back in to the end of the season.
Yeah.
So it would have been interesting. Now, the worry I've got, Ricky, are these players, we can talk about Redknapp, we can talk about Dyche, we can talk about Defoe, Keane. Are these players going to respect any manager enough to really dig? I don't mean one or two, but to have an entire 11 that go out there, blood, sweat, tears, body on the line, stop making mistakes. Is this group of players capable of that?
I'm not seeing it there, mate. I'm not seeing it. I'm not seeing it. Like, bar Lubo's beloved Archie Gray, who, to be fair, is, I mean, the problem with this is, what, again, I'm judging people just based on them having standards. I mean, this is the thing. Archie Gray comes from a footballing family, so he's got standards, right?
Yeah. He gets it.
He just gets football. Like, he understands that this is how mad it is, right? We didn't have to think about this in the 90s, mate. Our team's gone up down the years with Tottenham, like the Vegas and the Calderwoods, and you don't need to tell you this. You know this already. I'm preaching to a converted person already, but giving 100% right back then was just like a minimum. Now it feels like it's an optional thing. Like, players can just turn up and decide whether they want to play football or not. So now what you're judging Archie Gray on the fact that, look, I'm not saying the kid is not going to go on to be a very, very good player. I think he's a good player. I don't think he's, from what I've seen, going to be an amazing. I might be wrong. Again, because I'm only judging from my own eyes. I think he's a good player, Archie Gray. Whether he's great long term, I don't know in terms of the future. But what I like about Archie He just gives 100%. But the problem is, that should be a minimum. That is what we're losing in terms of modern football now. We're not getting the minimum in terms of 100%. As much as I get so frustrated by sometimes his final pass, his final decision, again, gives 100%. I think Dyche, and it's coming through a lot of the comments on the show here, he does know the territory of what he's getting himself into, right? And do you know what? It is inconceivable, right? In another world, you've gone from having Conte, Mourinho at this club to Dyche. But like you said, you've got to forget about that. You've got to put all that to one side now, and you're just going to have to, whoever comes in, like you said as well, support the players, support the manager. And I can't believe I'm saying this, Sean Dyche, if he keeps Tottenham up, this sounds mad. I can't believe I'm saying this. He will go down as one of the most popular managers in Tottenham's history.
Yeah,
and there'll be people saying he should get a statue.
Do you know what, Ricky? Can I show you what I want to see between now and the end of the season? Right, I'm going to show you visually on here. Right?
Yeah.
Now, we can sit and argue about which player we like. I think we're at the stage now where we need our seniority.
Of course we do.
We need an 11 that we stick with. Stop changing the 11 and the formation every single game. It is not helping anyone. This is what I would do, right? Now, bearing in mind, I think Kudus is going to be back after the break. If I was Spurs, I would just go back to where as possible, basics.
Putting players in their right positions.
2 in front of them that are seasoned pros that have been there, seen it and done it. Simmons in his position.
Yeah.
Kudus is the only right winger when he comes back. And Richie, because we don't really have a left winger, Richie there because a bit of a goal threat, but he will work his socks off in that position. Now, this isn't me saying, before everyone goes mad in the chat, he's bad. None of our players this year, you could say, deserve to play, if we're brutally honest.
We've got to show us
that.
Right. Yeah.
If I was somebody like a Sherwood, like a Redknapp, whoever comes, I would just say, right, Paulinho Gallagher, for example, come on, lads. Come on, you're both experienced. You've both played for big teams, right? You're both workhorses. You're both energetic, right? Just sit in front of that back four. Paulinho, you sit there. Connor, you go and box to box.
Yeah.
Right? Back four. You're going to be my back four unless we have injuries for the rest of this season. Let's get a settled back four and just try and build partnerships, right? Simmons, you're a number 10. You haven't had a good season, but I need some magic. I need some creativity, right? We know what Kudus is. We know what Solanke is. We know what Richarlison is. For me, this is what I would be doing. No experimenting. None of this 3 at the back 1 week, 4 at the back the next week, 2 wingers 1 week, 1 striker 1 week, 2 strikers. Get it back to basics.
Yeah.
Back to basics, right? Guys, go and save Tottenham with 9 games to go.
Yeah.
That is what I would do. Only me personally. I don't know about you. I don't think the 3 at the back works. It's never worked.
What you've done it rightly is just playing players in their right positions.
Right.
And then all from there, mate, you've just got to hope you're going to see something. The problem is, though, like you've said consistently, we've not really seen that. I mean, again, Bargray, Tell, Archie, I haven't seen enough. That's my problem. I look at us and just, I'm looking at, Stav, you've got this graphic up here of the players, right? I'm looking here thinking, who is going to be the person to dig us out of this? And I really hope, like Gallagher, for example, when I saw him at Palace and Chelsea, he looked like a fighter. I haven't really seen that Gallagher at Tottenham. That's really upset me, to be honest with you. Polina, I think he's
seeing him. We keep seeing him here. We keep seeing Gallagher there, mate.
Yeah.
He needs
Simmons
to be...
Simmons on the left, and Simmons on the left wing.
But when we signed Gallagher, right, listen, I like Gallagher. I think Gallagher in a proper, well-oiled, drilled team like he had at Chelsea will be absolutely fine. I've got no doubt about that. For me, I cannot understand, though, in these last however many games, you've got Paulinho and Gallagher as senior pros, right? And how often have you seen Gallagher and Paulinho play centre mid together, Ricky? And I can't make it work. Now, there's people in the chat saying, where's Gray? This isn't about, I'm not knocking Archie Gray. I'm just saying, get back to basics, get the fight. And then, do you know what, guys? We can deal with all of the shit in the summer. who needs
Agreed.
to stay, who needs to go. Right
Agreed.
now, square pegs, square holes. People saying they don't like Spence. Guys, I don't think we've got a left back. So
we haven't got the options. Unless you're going to chuck in Sousa, but again, like you said there, you're going to be playing another square peg in a round hole. Like what you're doing here, you're just playing players in their positions. I don't know what other options we've got really. And also, like, even we keep forgetting this with Spence. Spence ain't even a natural left back. I mean, we're having to force him.
No.
We've been playing Spence out of position for the last however long. I mean,
I just want to get as many players where possible into their natural position. In a formation that they're used to, right? Now, the problem is everyone says, I want to play three at the back, and this guy can shuffle across, and this one cuts. Stop all that.
Yeah.
Forest have gone to a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Right? Leeds have gone to the 4-2-3-1. Right? West Ham have gone to a 4-2-3-1.
Yeah.
Back to basics. Right?
And look at and just on that point, Savva, look at how those players are performing under their respective manager and as a team. Look how they're performing. They're all united. They know their goal. They know their objective. They know their task. They know their job. They know what they've got to do in possession, what they've got to do out of possession. They all seem to have an understanding of what they've got to do to achieve a result. Whereas us at the moment, we're not sure how we're going to play, what we're going to play, how to win a ball, how to pass a ball. And I do think also, this is really important to say this, our players have forgot what winning is, Sav. They've actually forgot how to win a football match. It's been
but we've normalised losing over the last 2 years.
We've normalised losing.
See, when everyone was saying we just concentrating on the Europa League, which I don't believe anyway, by the way, last season normalised losing. This season is normalising losing. Now,
this is the thing, everyone knows my feelings on Ange. Listen, I've always said I'm respectful to Ange for delivering us the trophy, right? And I always am. I give him my flowers for that. But the problem is whether people like it or they don't like it. And again, this is not to upset people because, again, this is just an opinion.
Yeah.
The normalisation of losing, setting back in from last season, has played its part in this season. Don't let that forget you. Because look at, bar the Atletico Madrid one, look at our results in the Champions League and Europa League in the last 2.5 years compared to our league form. Right? This is a reality of where we are. And unfortunately, this is going to be a difficult scenario that we're in. And that's why we're having to sit and discuss who gets us out of it and why Sean Dyche is a genuine contender now. We wouldn't be sitting here discussing Sean Dyche if we weren't a massive mess. And he's just been sacked less than a month ago.
Let's be honest, right? And by the way, I've just put Van der Ven left back down, so I sent it back for people that wanted the left-sided balance, whatever. But let's be honest, right? I just want a manager that comes in and, for example, let's just use this guy. And again, whatever you think of these players, guys, that's not the point of this conversation. This isn't a conversation to slate the play. This is who we've got. Whether you like them or not, none of them have played well. If they had have played well, we wouldn't be where we are.
Yeah.
I want a manager that this guy, right? I don't want him there. I don't want him there. I don't want him there or there. I want him there. Yeah. Gallagher, I don't want him there or there or there or there. I want him there. Right? Yeah. Players in their positions for a run of games. Yeah. And then we see, because what we've done already, look at Conor Gallagher, for example, right? What we've done is brought Conor Gallagher in. He's played about 5 different positions across about 8 different games in a team that hasn't won forever. And we go, he's shit. Well, sure, but who's been good? Square pegs, square holes. Yeah. And I'll ask you this, Ricky. If this season we had this, if this season we had seen him there or there, it doesn't really matter. Him there, right? If we had seen this problem ain't happening this season. If you've got Maddison, if you've got Kulu, if you've got Kudus, this isn't happening. The problem is, Ricky, we're relying on, I know people love these. We've been relying on Odebers. Yeah. Hells. I agree. These guys may be good in the future, but right now they're not good enough to get you the goals and assists to get you out of it.
I agree, mate. Listen, the reality is we are where we are. We can debate it, argue it, be frustrated about it. But like you're saying now, what you're trying to do is try and seek a solution. And the problem is, like, at the moment, we all have different ideas, but it feels like no one actually really generally can nail to the mask that's definitely going to work. But look, the thing is, it goes back to this point where you're showing here, which is the most important graphics ever. You're showing players. Like you said, if we're getting out of this, it's the players more than the manager. Of
course
it's going to be them that gets us out of this.
And this is the problem, right, Ricky? I'd say the funny thing is, depending on who's in your chat on any given watch along, you'll get people to go, "Oh, we're losing today because Tell and Mawani are playing," right? Somebody else will go, "We're losing today because Richie and Xavi are playing." I think what we're seeing is the reason why all the fans are so split on what the 11 should be is because we don't have a settled team or we don't have a good group of players. We don't have a formation anymore as a football club. Last year's formation was just everyone gung-ho. This year was everyone sitting back. Until we get those square pegs in square holes and settle down, for me, this isn't about, oh, I rate Tell, oh, I don't. Oh, I rate Richie, oh, I don't.
This is about now, like you said in previous shows, I've heard you. It's time to put point scoring to a side, opinions to a side at the moment, and just now it is about getting behind the group of players and whoever the unfortunate manager is going to be. It's going to be a really tricky next few months for us, right? And the thing is as well is that I know for some people out there, and Savva, you know as well because you get messages, I know for some people, Tottenham is that some people, it's their life, it's all they've got. They haven't got families. They haven't got much to kind of look forward to. I think the sad thing is that for some people out there, football is like their only escapism. Now, look, I've got, again, things outside of football that keep me busy and don't let me sleep at night and stuff in terms of just... So everyone's got other stuff going on outside of football. But the thing is that when you are so passionate about something you love, and it's as bad as it is right now, it is meant to be, this is meant to be good to talk about it. But the problem is, at the same time, you've got to remember, like, all we're doing is offering a football opinion. That's all we're doing. And we are not saying this is going to work or... Because, again, we don't know. If we were right, we'd be in jobs in football, but we're not. Yeah, really, we just got an opinion. And look, we just need to now, I think...
You know what I think we're doing, though, Ricky? I think I see a lot of shows where I think everyone wants to start getting silly with trying out brand new formations. And I do this and I'm just trying to look at this and say, right, we're in a relegation battle.
Yeah.
Just go back to basics. And then what we do next year for a formation and what players are sold, we can deal with that from the end of May. Right now, this isn't about an individual player. I see this all the time. There's this little army of people, right? That love Tell. Little army of people that love Gray. Little army of people that love Odom. Yeah. For me, this isn't about those individual footballers. This is about go back to basics. Now, there is one thing I wanted to ask you, right? Now, I've got this one guy in my chat that just constantly thinks the answer to this is playing the likes of Byfield and Luca Williams-Barnett. Now, Ricky, my opinion is very much we are in a relegation battle where you need experience, you need men, you need pros.
We got any of them?
Well, but chucking 17-year-olds into a relegation battle. I mean, Ricky, surely that's just the most stupidest thing any club would do.
I'm uncomfortable at putting those kids into this situation.
Me too.
All I would say is that sometimes you do find a situation where some players, some kids are fearless about what they're walking into. I mean, when Wayne Rooney broke onto the scenes, I mean, the only thing that would worry me is that also at the same time, I know how much that is also putting a massive pressure on like a young kid, like you said there, and making them come into a climate of a difficult one to work.
Say it
is, mate. It's
a shit show, right?
I also worry about that. What I do think at the home games, I think now that everyone understands that the gravity of the utter shit show that we're in, I do think there will be support there for the players, but not if Tudor will remain. I think we've got to make this change, and I think whoever it's going to be now, look, I think whether we like it or not, whether you like Dyche, whether you like Sherwood, whether you like Redknapp, Mason, whoever now, we're going to have to back it and just see, because really, mate, no one knows. Like, we don't know anymore. And you keep saying this, and I agree. it will be the players at the end of the day that will get us out of this. I think it will be as look. We can say it might be as much as the manager, but mate, the thing is, we don't know. Like, I'm honestly, I'm at a point. You know, when you do shows, you're just not sure what to say. Like, I do not know at times what to say. Like, I come on air, and I promise you, at times, I actually know the next words that are going to come out of my mouth in terms of what I'm watching, what I'm seeing. But like the comments do reflect here and there, right? If Tudor remains in charge, we're done. Like, we are down. Like, we are relegated. There's no doubt about it now. But we could even simulate the next games we'd be relegated. So yeah, we have to change Tudor. Have to.
I'll be honest. I'm not sitting here calling for anyone to be sacked because the board will do what the board will do. What I did say was after the Atletico game, I was sure that yesterday morning we would have woken up to the news that he's been sacked.
I couldn't believe it.
Then when you wake up to the news that he's going to take the press conference on the Friday, you're like, right, okay, you're in charge of Liverpool. People say it's a free hit and doesn't matter. We can sack him after that.
On that point there, Sav, about Liverpool being a free hit, I'm not sure it is because, I mean, also, I'm not saying we've got any right to go Liverpool and won. Last time we won there was under Harry, actually, ironically. But this isn't like a amazing Liverpool team that are blowing teams away. Like, if you look at teams that have played Liverpool recently at home, they've actually been in games. So, and to go back to your point, I'm not sure any game is a free hit anymore. We could be in the relegation zone come Sunday when we play.
Well, but the thing is, I heard this, right? Now I'm going to separate two conversations. Right. First of all, I think this Spurs is getting beaten 5-1 at Anfield. So I'm sorry. I just feel that Liverpool, they're going to be in that change room.
Is that with or without Tudor there, or with Tudor? It doesn't make a difference.
Definitely with Tudor, but at the moment, I don't think a new manager. What is it, Thursday? There's no difference that can be made between Thursday and Sunday, in my opinion. Right.
Okay.
I think we're losing 5-1. Right. But the worrying thing is, aside from that, is I heard this when Tudor got the job. When, his first game's Arsenal. That's a bit of a free hit. It's okay. Whoa. Hang on.
We're outside of free hit territory now. We're done. We can't have more free hits.
Right. We're outside of that. We are, when you are bringing in a manager with 36 points to play for, and people are going, he needs time to work things out. No.
There ain't no time. You ain't got
what
time,
an interim manager is.
You ain't got time. It's immediate. Like, this is why Tudor, for example, going back to him very quickly, I know we've got to wrap up, but Tudor, you know, the thing about Tudor is that he was brought in because he starts fast at clubs. He's had 4 games and he tails off towards the end of his reigns. So what's he still doing here? It's beyond comprehension that, he could be in charge, and he is. It's unbelievable. Because what we've done now is, like you said there, I agree with you, we put the white flag up. We've already taken those 3 points off the remaining points we can get accumulated.
What will happen against Liverpool, right, is this guy has now played 4 different variations of formations with different 11s. He's not played the same back 4 once. He's not played the same midfield once. He's not played the same forward line once.
There is a players after Fulham as well.
We're gonna change it again for Liverpool. Yeah. Then what will happen is we'll change it again for Atletico Madrid because people will go, we're out of that. Then we'll change it again for Forest. Look, whether it's Tudor or not, see, this guy cracks me. Honestly, this is my favourite host. When he says we must play well Sunday, I hate to break it to you, mate. This club is not playing well. It's not gonna click and we play well. What he means to say is, I'll do it for him, bless him, is we must fight. I don't think this isn't about playing well. This isn't about seeing nice football. What we must see is fight. Yeah. But if you're Arnie Slot, I asked this to Sean the other day, Ricky, if you're Arnie Slot all week in training, you are turning around and saying, guys, it's Spurs. Right?
They're on the floor.
They're on the floor. They're a mess. They can't win. Right? In the changing room, the last thing I would say, and sorry, I know this sounds really awful against my own club. If I'm Arnie Slot, I'm saying to the Liverpool boys, I haven't got a lot to say today, guys. But this team haven't won a Premier League game in 11. You're at Anfield.
Don't let them be the
Go
first.
out from minute 1 and attack them. Yeah. They will concede and they will crumble. And we will. And we will. You know we will, Ricky. We concede a goal.
No, I am worried. I mean, look, I always go into the game saying the first goal is so important. And then you look at the fact we've had, 9 games in a row where we've conceded 2 or more. It's just, yeah.
And by the way, just quickly before we wrap up, you've got no Van der Ven, I don't know what's happening with the whole Paulinho, Romero.
Yeah, whether they're concussed or not concussed, we're not sure yet.
And I don't know. Are we playing a back three? Are we going to go to a back four?
This is the problem. We don't know.
Is he going to put Xavi Simons in to at least try and have some creativity in the football team?
That's the thing with Xavi. I said it on X the other night and I know X is a platform that's a cesspit anyway, but I said it on there. He's the only kind of central midfield attacking option we've got. We're not even playing him.
I read your tweet. Someone sent it to me while I was live. While I was live in my watch along, someone sent it to me and I actually read it out. It was the not playing Solanke and Simmons in this game.
Yeah.
You've got no creativity or forward play in this team at all.
No. But then what I was told is we're better to defend. But we've conceded 2 more goals in 9 anyway. So, like, is there I'm not sure what we should do. I'm not sure.
What fans don't understand that say that, Ricky, teams that are really well drilled can go into a game to defend. You look at Everton, right? Everton can go into a game with the theory of
it's David Moyes, isn't it? Like he knows his job, David Moyes. He knows what he's doing. Like he knows how to get players on side. He knows how to build teams. He knows how to set up a team. I mean, that's the thing that kind of leads me back to Dyche probably on the close of this is that the thing about Dyche is generally you know what you're getting in a Sean Dyche team, and if that could work over a very small period to get results, we'd all take it. We'd all take it. So I think now, like I say, we're in a difficult situation. We need to get behind him, whoever it's going to be, whether it's Dyche, whether it's whoever. Because going back to your point, I think really important to close it on what you're going to say. We've got to get the players are the ones who will get us out of this. The players will be the ones to get us out of this. It might not be as much as the manager anymore. It will be the players because we've left it so late. But I feel for the fan. I do feel for the fans out there. It's such a difficult situation we're in. I mean,
I told you, I love this guy. This guy is, I mean, Liverpool have won 4 of their last 6 Premier League games. I mean, sure. Listen, it is not the title winning Liverpool. But this
but it's still got good players.
Liverpool just slapped West Ham 5-2. Like let's look. If anyone can breathe life back into Liverpool, it's gonna be Tottenham. Oh gosh, honestly. Can you just quickly? I've got a couple of super chats before we do super chats and end the show. Can you ask Ricky? Will Love Sport Radio ever make?
No,
now, you did that with my best mate, didn't you?
Yeah, unfortunately, they couldn't survive COVID. Unfortunately, it was a real shame because it was a great alternative out there to. I think TalkSport now is obviously the premium home of sports radio. If you love TalkSport, I'm lucky to go on there and stuff, and they invite me on. But I think it was very hard to build an alternative model out there to TalkSport. They're obviously again. Their numbers are incredible. So no, unfortunately, we lost during the COVID period. So we did enjoy doing it. I mean, now trying to do 2 hours Tottenham on there would be tricky. Doing that journey up to South London at the time it was up and down there with your mate. Obviously, who used to do it. Sav as a presenter on there. He was a great guy.
He's now the face of Charlton TV. Didn't know if you know that.
Didn't know really. Okay, interesting.
Yeah, he's down at Charlton TV. But anyway, let me do these super chats and then we will end. Big up to you, John Turney. Really appreciate you. He said, hi, Savva. Hi, Ricky. People listening to Ange and wanting him back are unbelievable. He talks like a used car salesman and people are gobbling it up. Well, John, what I did find funny, I know Rick and I haven't talked about this because I didn't really want an Ange conversation.
It kind of spirals out of control, doesn't it? When you mention him, that's the problem. It spirals out of control.
Yeah, it does. But when I'm hearing a manager that lost 26 games in all competitions last year and 22 in the league and finished 17th talking about that the players need belief put into them, I'm thinking, hang on, mate. You lost how many games last year? I'm not sure you're the right guy to be talking about this. But
I agree every word you're saying. This is not to spot this conversation because I know I've also got to wrap up. But what I will say is that I do worry now. I mean, some of these players would play for him, but at the same time, the normalisation of losing the Premier League games is a big problem why we are here in this first place. I know he won the trophy, and I know, again, there was a debate about whether we should have kept him for season 3 because he did instill belief into the squad. I totally understand and get that. And I respect the fans out there would have wanted to see season 3, but unfortunately, the normalisation of losing also happened under his reign, and it's also carried through into this season. So it's a massive part of it.
Yeah. And I think we need to stop looking backwards as well. I really think we need to stop looking. Every time we suggest something backwards. We don't ever seem to move forward as a as a football club. Let me just do. I've got 3 more super chats, and then what I'm going to do, guys, is send you over to Sean because Sean is live. Thank you very much, John. Really appreciate that, buddy. Thank you very much. Big up to O'Neill, THC, THFC. There's an F in there. Well, sometimes that we're a football club, sometimes we're not. A murder mystery away from being Harchester United. Yeah, that was Dream Team, right? Was Harchester United Dream Team? If I'm not wrong, the football. O'Neill, look, one thing for sure. Turn on TalkSport, Sky Sports, anything. It is all Spurs. We are the talking point subject for everyone right now. We are a mess. We are. We are. But thank you, O'Neill. Really appreciate that. Big up to David, who is out there in Cornwall. Cornwall Spurs, representing Cornwall. Thank you, David. And last but not least, David's coming again. Said Savva and Ricky, I saw Spurs in 1975. What a great team. Up the Spurs fans. David, I can't quite go back to that. The first year I was taken to White Hart Lane, even though I don't remember, it was 1984. My first memories of Spurs would properly remember it would be Clive Allen's season where he banged in about 7,000 goals. I think it was 47, 49, something like that.
47, yeah.
You know, Waddle and Waddle, footballers. Big up to you, David. Yeah, listen, hopefully at some point we get our club back. We need Spurs back. Listen, guys and girls, you all know where to find Ricky. If you haven't subscribed to Last Word on Spurs, please do get over there. Great guy. Met him in person, even though he'd forgot he'd met me earlier. Unbelievable.
That's right. That's my life for you, mate. It's not you. I don't know where I am in these last however many years, juggling whatever I've been juggling, mate. But no, always a pleasure, mate. And I will say this again to the community out there that I know, look, we're very lucky, and I say I'm privileged to have an audience that we do on Last Word on Spurs. And I know, Sarah, again, you're very privileged to have your audience as well. And to find the words, if you can, to talk about where we are right now is tricky. So I'll just kind of say that, be kind out there if you can. Everyone be kind, because it's a difficult time right now as fans. And look, the one thing that's a common goal on Savva's channel and obviously on Last Word on Spurs is that we're all suffering together. We're all Spurs fans. So right now we just all need to come together and somehow find a way of getting through this, because this is going to be tough. I mean, the next few weeks, I'm terrified. I'm generally terrified of where we're going. So keep up the great work, and let's see where we are. Actually, I'm quite terrified next time we get together where we might be.
Yeah, next time Ricky and I do a show, it'll be right, Ricky. Are we buying Hayden Hackney to be our captain in the Championship? By the way, guys and girls, I'm going to just say this. For anyone who, a big part of my live score shows is I do Acca Watch. Last night, again, 5 teams to win 900 quid. I put them in for the 9th time this year, and for the 9th time this year, they fucked my Acca up. Middlesbrough. I hope Middlesbrough do not get promoted. Every week I don't put them in an Acca, they win. Anyway, guys, I'm sending you over to Sean. Much love. Guys, subscribe to me as well. We're 39 away from 25,000. So please do subscribe. Subscribe to Ricky. I'm sending you over to Sean, whose show is called There's a Rat in the Camp. I'm sure he'll keep you entertained. Get over there. Much love. And as always, Enoch out. And come on, you Spurs.